Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Iman.
And I'm Amal.
And welcome back to the Weird and Wonderful podcast. So for today, we are talking about one of my favorite topics ever. Marriage, expectations in relationships, love, finding the right partner, all those wonderful things. So I am married. Amal is not. Are you close to it though?
No.
No. How far are you from getting married?
He has to be stable.
Yes, girl, it's never gonna happen. So basically, I think a lot of people love love. I think that's just a thing. Like every time we post about it, talk about it, people just get like an instant reaction of like wanting to be involved in the conversation. So I feel like we can start off first by talking about the expectations of marriage.
Right.
And what are your expectations, Amal?
I don't know. I feel like I've come to a point where I don't have any expectations anymore. Like, just in general, I have sort of trained myself, conditioned myself to not have expectations for anything. And I feel like I've taken it a step further where my expectations have sort of become negative.
Okay.
Like, instead of just stopping at no expectations, it's sort of gone.
When you say expectations, like, do we mean like more things like, oh, I don't expect him to like be tall, or I don't expect him to like make X amount of money every year,
Right.
or
The money and the tall thing have never really been an issue. Maybe when I was like a lot younger, I'm just like, oh yeah, no, he has to be rich. But I'm older and I'm more realistic. I know that that's not really, that's not a priority. He has to make money so that we can stay afloat kind of thing. But then like I don't expect like ridiculous amounts of money. Not that. And I mean it more in a sense like, good marriage life. Like in my head, I'm just like, okay, be ready to fight a lot. Be ready to disagree a lot. Be ready to not want to go to a family gathering. Things like that. Yeah. So I'm just...
I think it's fair that you feel all these things because, you've seen like my marriage and you've seen it like, marriages of people around you. But I think that you're taking the fun out of marriage.
I am. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's gone so far as to now I don't even... I can't get excited about anything. Like, my natural instinct right now is to just expect the worst.
Right.
So that whatever comes out, like...
You don't get brokenhearted or you don't get disappointed.
I'll be okay. And I feel like that has sort of stunted me in a way where I actually don't enjoy a lot. I do not say I don't enjoy a lot of things. I don't look forward to things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of young people these days have these dreams of what it's like to be married. It's like, oh, you're gonna find like the perfect person, and then you're gonna have like this big beautiful wedding, and then after that you're gonna go on a nice honeymoon, and then it's just like going to be peachy after. But I think it's really important for people to realize that marriage is not just the wedding. Marriage is not just finding somebody who's gonna like look nice to you next to a photo. Like, it's so much more than that. And I don't know if young people realize that when you go into a committed married, like, this is not like girlfriend boyfriend, like a married relationship, there are so many other factors that come along with it.
Right.
Yeah. It's like now you have to think about a whole new set of family. Like, you will have in-laws, you'll have your husband's things that he likes to do. It's not just your hobbies that you have to do now, it's going to be your husband's hobbies too.
Right.
Whatever stress or pressure that he has, you have to take that on as well. So I hope that more people would understand that marriage is not just like sweet Instagram captions.
That's why I'm very aware of that.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm the way I am.
Right.
But then on the other hand, it has taken the fun out of it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, but what is it? Okay, if you had to look for somebody,
right,
what are the things that you would look for? Like, what are the traits that you desire?
I don't know. He doesn't make sure he's not lazy.
Okay.
He's not lazy. I don't know.
You have no expectations.
Legit. Good person. He has to be a good person with a good heart.
Yeah.
And I guess you can only see that if what am I trying to say? Sorry, let's not go.
Are you tired?
Anyway, no. Yeah. I just He has to be a good person. Good person, takes care of his prayers, you know, doesn't smoke, and speaks the same language as me.
A lot of young men these days are smokers.
Right.
So what if you fell in love, or you realize that everything about this guy is like great, except the smoking thing?
He has to be really good. Like, he has to be a really great guy for me to be okay with the smoking. And then again, I'm not going to be okay with it, like, for the rest of my life. I mean, like, I'm going to be okay with it for now, but I have to know that you want to stop. Because I feel like smoking is it's a long run.
We're using smoking as like one trait.
Yes, I know.
As an example.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, it's a long run thing. Like, I'm going to have to deal with it. I'm going to have to deal with the smoke, with your smell, with the money that you're going to put into buying your cigarettes. It's going to affect the children. You know, it's things like that. I feel like smoking, even though it seems small, it's going to affect me for the rest of my life if you don't stop. And I don't think I'm willing to stay with that. I'm willing to accept that because it's going to affect my health as well.
Right.
Like, I'm going to be selfish here. You know? Yeah.
Okay, so that's speaking from like a point of view.
And also it's going to affect his health.
Right.
So is that being selfish? Because I want you in for a while. Like, I want to make sure that you're in my life for a longer time. I don't know.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But you know, as somebody who is married,
Right.
like, obviously there are some habits that my husband does that like irk me, that I'm like, oh, why do you have to do that, you know? But over time you realize that once you're married, you have to start compromising. Like, you have to pick and choose your battles. Like, there are some things that are not worth fighting over.
Right.
And there are some things that you're like, you know what, I'll just let this one slide.
Right.
Because, like, how bad is it?
Right.
You know, in the grander scheme of things. Like, for me, things that are like ultimate no-no would be like, if you're a wife beater, like if you hit your partner, then that goes both ways. Like, I don't think women should hit husbands either, you know? Like lying, cheating, like all those things for me are just like for me, those are deal breakers.
As they should be.
Yeah, because that's a choice that they make. And yes, smoking is also a choice that they make. But now that I'm married, I understand that some husbands just have, I don't want to say malleable habits, but habits that are breakable, you know? But I feel like once you're a wife beater, like, that's really hard to turn around.
Don't you feel like the bar is so low when you say that? Oh, as long as he doesn't hit me, I will stay married to him.
But you know what? I always hear these days, right, when young girls say, okay, I want like somebody who's a doctor, somebody who likes outdoor sports, somebody who likes rom-coms, somebody who likes to eat Japanese food. Like, these are all things I must find in a husband. And when I hear people saying that, I'm like, yo,
that's
nak
unrealistic.
cari kat mana?
Right.
You know, like, those, for me, having standards is fair. Like,
I think standards and expectations are different.
yeah, they are different, and people have to realize that there's a fine line between that. Because when you're trying to find a partner and you're complaining like, oh my god, I'm 35 and I still haven't found anybody, maybe revisit what is it that you're looking for.
Right. For sure.
You know, and obviously all things come with time, and Allah has already predetermined like when our partner will arrive and how you're going to meet them, blah 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 blah. But at the same time, you should also put in effort.
Definitely.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, okay, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you went into my computer when I was younger, but I actually had a spreadsheet of like all the traits.
Of course you did.
Of all the expectations that I wanted in a partner.
Okay.
And I think some of them were like really crazy. One of them was like, memorize the whole Quran. Like, another one was like, have a nice voice so he can sing to me.
Oh my god.
Let me just say, my husband has not memorized the whole Quran and he cannot sing. So, I mean, that's the thing. Like, what you dream of, like, as a young girl or a teenager, as a child, like, what you'll end up with is going to be totally different.
Right.
Because it might not be the same thing.
For sure.
Or the thing that's, like, best meant for you.
Yeah, I think I used to have a list, but not an actual list, like a list in my head.
Oh, mine was a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
No. It was color-coded too.
Oh, of course it was. Yeah. No, I had, like, you know, it'd be great if you were rich. It'd be great if you're good looking.
Yeah.
I'd like it if you got along with my mom. You know, things like that. I had, for me, it was like that. Not so much like, oh, he has to like sports. Yeah, I don't think I ever had something like that. But yeah.
But I also find that now, like things that I did not used to find important, like I was like, oh, it doesn't really matter if he's rich or whatever. But now that I'm on like this side of things, like money's important.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like love doesn't pay the bills.
Yeah.
You know, money is important, and you cannot deny that that's like a really important factor.
Right. For sure.
What do you feel about that?
Definitely. I mean, I know for a fact that you can't get on without money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it like a deal breaker for you? Like if he...
I know. I think as long as you know that he's hardworking and he's willing to work for that, willing to work so that you guys can eventually get comfortable, I think I would be okay with that. And I would be okay with him with wanting to get married before that happens and staying. I think I would be okay with it.
You mean like struggle and hustle together?
Struggle and hustle together, yeah.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, it will also be nice to be okay before you get married, like waiting. I think
Right.
that's also
Yeah.
wise as well.
A lot of people are rushing into marriage these days.
Right.
How do you feel? What's your thought or opinion about that? When I say rushing, I mean like in university dah kahwin.
Right.
Or some people that we know right out of high school dah kahwin.
Right.
You know, like what are your thoughts on that?
I think if you think it's time and your parents are okay with it and you have a plan, by all means, go ahead. As long as there's a plan,
Yeah.
like that's fine. I there's a lot of people who I know, like when I talk to them, they're hating on me. I'm like, oh my god, it's so young. I personally think that if it works for those people, it works for those people. Truly. Like who am I to say like you were too young to do that? I'm like, you know yourself and you made the decision and you got married. All the best to you. Yeah, that's how I feel. How about you?
Yeah, I also feel like you will know when it's time for you
Exactly.
to get married. And if it's already there and your parents have given you your blessing and you feel like you've done istikhara and it's the right person for you, then go for it.
Right.
You know, but like you said, there has to be a plan. Like you have to know like where are we going to live? How are we going to pay the bills?
Yeah.
You cannot just expect like, oh, after you get married, everything's going to fall into place.
That's when everything will not fall
That's
into
when
place.
everything falls out of place.
Yeah.
Like if I can speak from like my own personal experience, like when Ashraf and I got married, he was still studying. He was still doing his master's,
Right.
and I had like just come back from Canada. So neither of us had jobs.
Right.
Like he had allowance monthly from his scholarship, but like that was it. So we had to like live with our parents for a while, like both sides. And you know, that's really trying as like a young married couple. Like you're learning about each other for the very first time.
Right.
And then now you have like also these external factors of like living with a set of parents and like a set of siblings and your family. And not only are you learning about the person, but you're also learning about the family as
Right.
well. And I think like when you're a daughter-in-law, you have to realize that you are already going into a family that's like fully formed.
Right.
You are the newcomer. You know, you have to put yourself out there and try and mold yourself to be a part of that family. Like you're not only marrying the person.
You're marrying the whole family.
You're marrying the whole family.
Right.
Like,
And I've been like painfully aware of that for a very long time, and I think that's also why I'm so like pessimistic about it, because like how am I not say I barely fit my own family, but like I mean I'm so it's difficult sometimes, you know. So it's like I have to deal with this times two, and not only because my family, like I grew up with them like since I was a baby, born to this family. This is like I'm an adult going into another family of adults, so that's like
yeah.
how am I gonna do that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I'm not a baby in this family. Like I'm a fully grown, and then I have to seek approval from all these people. So that scares me. Like I remember there was once I went to someone's wedding. And
Was it mine?
No, it wasn't yours. I went to someone's wedding, and then it was the girl's side of the family, I think. So I saw the boys' family leave the wedding. And in my head, I know this is such a weird thing to feel, but I was like, oh my God, you're leaving him. Like, he's going to be here now. Like, he's with this other family, and the family left. And then I put myself in that situation. I was like, oh my God, when I have a wedding, inshallah, my family is going to leave me at my husband's reception. And I was like, oh my God, they're actually
Peace
going
out.
to
See you
leave me.
later.
Yeah, and
All
that
the best.
and that really creeped me out, you know. And
Yeah.
I mean, that was just sort of a metaphor for everything else. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm in like this whole new unit, this whole new institution. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's the word, but
Yeah.
you know, it's just like I'm
It's
scared.
It's scary. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like the first, I would say for my husband and I, like the first year, 2 years, were hard
Yeah.
because now you are juggling like not only the expectations of your partner, the expectations of his family, of my family, of our own wants and do's, and you realize that your life is no longer your own life.
Exactly. Yeah.
When you get married, you are sharing this life with another person. Literally 24 hours a day. His face in your face all the time. And it gets hard. Like it's tiring. Like it's, as much as I love my husband, I love him more than anything else in the world. But sometimes I get so sick of him.
Right.
It's like, go away. You
Yeah.
know?
See, that's what I'm not. I don't know if I'll ever be ready, because you know how they say you're never going to be ready, you just got to do it kind of thing. But for now, while I am not in that position, I'm really happy where I am.
Enjoy your time.
While I can just hang out in my room alone, not having to worry about somebody else's feelings and you know what they're going to eat tonight, you know, because I don't eat at night. So, you know, I have to worry about all that, like thinking about
Yeah.
that freaks me out a little bit. And like, I'm really enjoying this time now.
Yeah.
And I'm scared of when I have to give up my weekends for this guy who wants
Well,
to do something that I don't want to do.
You don't have to give up your whole weekend, though. You share your weekend. Amal.
Yeah,
So
see, that's the
where
thing. Why do I have to share my weekend?
Because you're married.
That's what I mean. Like, that's
Do you
why
want
I'm
to be married or not? You don't want to share, don't get married.
Eventually, I don't know, but it just
yeah.
like
No, and that's, I wish more girls would chillax. Chill and relax. Don't rush
we
it.
know what chillax means.
Just in case, FYI. Like, take your time. Like, why is there a rush? Why is there almost like the stigma? Like, when you see other people around you get married, you get freaked out
Right.
and stressed out. Like, I don't have anyone yet. Or, I have someone, but he doesn't want to marry me yet. You know, like, you know, things will happen in time. And
Right.
when you believe and trust that as long as you usaha your best, then it will all fall into place, inshallah.
Inshallah,
You know? So, like, enjoy your time. Enjoy your time with your family, because one day you ain't gonna be living with them no more.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna be living, like, on your own with your
with
husband.
a man
With a man.
who leaves his clothes everywhere.
Everywhere.
I'm really scared of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear things.
You hear things.
Yeah.
They're true. No, I'm just kidding. Some of them are true, not all. My husband's really great. He leaves them in a pile
Next to the hamper.
next to
the laundry
the
hamper.
laundry basket. No, I'm just kidding. You know, I feel like girls and guys should take their time. Like,
Right.
develop who you are as a person. Enjoy your time with your family. Enjoy your time with your friends.
Definitely.
And when it is time, inshallah, you will know and it will happen.
Right.
And when that time comes, it's going to be fun. Like, your wedding is going to, if you have the rizki to have a big wedding, like how you want it to be, go for it. If you want a small one, go for
Yeah,
it.
we're
Do
going
what
for a
you
small
want.
one.
Yeah, small one.
Small one. I don't like big weddings.
Yeah, mine was a big wedding. But you know what? I realized I only knew like maybe 5% of the people at my wedding.
That's true.
Everyone else was my parents' friends. I think a lot of people can relate to this. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people who show up at your wedding aren't really people you know. It's like your parents' friends, and like
Because really, it's your parents' wedding.
it's your parents' wedding. So you know what? I will get a wedding in like 20, 30 years.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, I mean. So yeah, so that's the thing. So first point is, don't rush it. Like,
Right.
it's important for you to know also what is it that you want. Like, in this time, while you are trying to find the person, reflect and decide what is it that you want in a partner,
Right.
right? Like, if you want someone who is sporty, or, you know,
Go to the gym.
go to the gym, go to like adventure parks, I don't know. You know,
People
adventure-
do that. Oh, right. Like
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Like, if you enjoy running and you want a partner who can run with you, join some marathons. You might meet next to the water cooler. You never know. You literally never know. So when you do things you enjoy, you never know. Maybe your jodoh might end up there, and it's your risky that you find somebody who likes to do the same things you do.
Yep.
Unfortunately for my husband and I, he really enjoys gaming, and that is a solitary game. So he did not find any girls online. So that's why we found each other, you know? So yeah, so I feel like in that sense, you really have to know what is it that you want
Right.
when you get married. But at the same time, know what it is you want, and standards is very different.
Yeah.
Like some people have that expectation of, oh, I want somebody who can take me on 2 holidays a year.
Right.
Girl, that's not like a standard, that's an expectation.
Yeah.
And if that's what you want, all the best in finding the right person for you.
I wish you all the best. Seriously.
We wish you all
We
the
hope
best.
you get it.
We hope you find him.
We'll pray for you.
You know, so I feel like you also need to be really realistic.
Right.
And have the important conversations early on.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, legit, like, I want to get married. Do you want to get married to me? And if he says, not really, I don't know,
Run.
leave it. Like, don't waste your time.
Yeah.
You know, another important question is, okay, how you as a leader of this family, Islamically, you know that you should lead our family. So do you do all the wajib things? Do you pray 5 times a day? Do you
Give zakat.
give zakat?
and all
Do
that.
you, in Ramadan, you know, those kind of things. And then how many children do you want to have? Because that's important, because I find nowadays not a lot of people want children.
Right. Yeah.
Why? Is that like a thing now?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, children is rizqi. You know, only Allah gives you offspring. But you know, it's important to have that conversation of like, do you at least want children? First, like, try. So I think that's also important.
Definitely.
And also like what your life goals are. Like if your life mission is literally like, you just want to like make bank and like make money and not think about like the other things, like, oh, I want to develop myself in this hobby, or I want to, you know, open a charity or something. I don't know. You know, it's important to be on the same page. You probably won't be on the same page in the beginning, but you should at least like start writing the page.
Right.
Okay, I'm also, as an unmarried woman, should we have expectations, if not at all, for marriage?
So just to be clear, the expectations are not the standards, right?
Correct, not standards.
So expectations.
I would say expectations are like the fluffy things.
The pessimist in me says no, we should not have expectations.
Right.
So that you tak sakit hati. You know, so that you won't be disappointed when you don't get it. And usually you don't get it. I don't know. That's what I think.
Because expectations to me are like, he's going to take me out for dinner once a week. We're going to have date night.
I guess if you really want that, right? He has to want it too. Because it's a two-way street. Like friendship, any relationship, basically. It needs to be a two-way street. So if you want that one dinner a week kind of thing, you have to lay it down from the beginning. Say, hey, dude, I want you to take me out once a week. And if he says okay, then great, good for you. And if he actually follows through, then good for you. But yeah, I guess you have to lay it out. I mean, if you really think that those expectations are important for your marriage, then lay it out from the beginning, from the get-go. And then as they come, I guess what's important is that you talk about it. You talk about it and you tell him what you want, and he tells you what he wants. And then I guess you come to that compromise that everyone's raving about.
I learned one of the most important lessons in my marriage from a YouTube video. I was watching this Korean couple. They were vlogging, and the wife just straight out said into the camera, when I want something or when I need something, I just tell him.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And when I find that more in like Asian women, it's like we feel like our partners can read our minds. And that was exactly what the woman said. She said, he can't read my mind. He is a man.
Right.
He is like, he's a man. He can't read my mind. You know, like, I need to tell him what I want. And that was like a light bulb moment in my head. I'm like, she's so right. Ashraf can't read my mind. Like, why did I think all this time that he could?
But it's so simple, though.
It's so simple, but not a lot of people realize
And it seems like
it.
common sense.
It's like perfectly clear common sense. But I think it's the romantic notion of us all, like, oh, he should know what I want.
Yeah,
he should know what I'm feeling.
I think we all on some level want that.
Yeah.
No? Like, it'd be really nice if I came home one day and he knew that I want, like, and the thing is, women drop hints all the time. That's, but
they're men.
But they're men. And
No offense to men, you guys are great. Okay. But yeah, no. Going back to the advice that he cannot read my mind, that literally just telling him what I want will solve so many of my problems.
Right.
Mashallah, after that, I told Ashraf every single thing that was on my mind. Like, I want goreng pisang. Let's go here. This weekend, I want to watch this movie.
I want ikan bakar.
I want ikan bakar. I would just tell him. And you know what? That saves him so much time from having to guess and having to pujuk me because I'm a rajok, because he
got it wrong.
Because he didn't take my hint that I wanted ikan bakar, because I clearly Googled it in front of him, but he still didn't take the hint, So it just saves you and your partner so much time and so much heartache. If that is one message I can pass on, he cannot read your mind, and just tell him. And it doesn't include just your married relationship, like
just
with
any
anyone.
relationship.
Like, if you are expecting or you want a certain thing, like, make it up clear with the person.
Right.
Like, Amal, for our birthday this year, I just really want a new diary.
Okay, noted. Noted.
See, it's so clear. No, that's a good one.
It took me so long to get that.
Sorry. But okay, going back to like funny things that I've experienced, kursus kawin.
Oh my god. Okay.
Which we have to do here in Malaysia. When we were abroad, when I was in Canada, and I told my friends I had to go back and take a marriage class, which was mandatory. They're like, what marriage class? What do you learn in this marriage class? I'm like, you know what? After I take it, I'll tell you. But I know people make fun of kursus kawin, but it's actually really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You have never been to one? I hope not. You can actually take it early.
Yeah, I can take it way before.
Yeah, you don't need to be married to take a marriage course, At least when you do get married, you've already done it. But anyway, there was this ustazah that was sharing with us that the divorce rates in Malaysia are like intensely high.
Mm-hmm.
In some ethnic groups, in some races than others. And some of the examples that she gave, which were real, of people that actually, these were the reasons that they noted down of why they got divorced, was that their wives did laundry at night. That
the toothpaste one.
That the wife would, he likes to push the toothpaste from the bottom, and his wife pushed the toothpaste from the top, and it got to a point where he just could not handle it, and they got a divorce. And for me, it's like, okay, I understand there are probably other factors to it as well, but communication is key. Like, if you don't like your wife to do laundry at night, tell her don't do laundry at night. Teach her how to squeeze the toothpaste the way you want
or
it,
Or just get her another tube.
Or get different tubes. I don't know. So that was one. And the second one was, it was an ustad telling the men that women think differently. And I thought it was really refreshing to hear from a male. But he gave an example. He's like, you guys would go to a pasar.
The kaya ball.
Okay, so you would have bought like kari papla, popia, apam bali, everything. You're like, your hands are full from the pasar with all of these bags, like each of you. And then as you're walking, your wife goes, oh, kaya ball. And husband is like, kaya ball. And then they just keep on walking to the car. And once you get in the car, you can feel the shadow of doom that's just like her. Your wife is so upset. And then finally you'll ask your wife like, sayang, kenapa marah? And she's like, I nak kaya ball. And he said, you tak cakap pun? And then the wife goes, tak, I cakap tadi. Oh, kaya ball. And I'm probably not telling the story right, but do you know what I mean when I illustrate it? It's like women and men communicate differently,
right?
And it's we just have to accept it. There's nothing that we can change about it.
Right.
Like me and my ikan bakar. Like I said to Ashraf the other day, like, oh, this ikan bakar place looks nice, yeah. And he's like, yeah. Do you want to eat McDonald's? And I'm like, I just said I want to ikan bakar, So there has to be like an agreement between husband and wife that when you want something, dude, just say it.
Right.
Like, it saves
so much time and emotion. right?
The merajuk level would like go down at least 70%. I promise you. Merajuk is also hard lah. You know, when you're married, like
you wanna send a message to your partner who doesn't even get it, right?
with as little words as possible. Like you want him to know you're angry, but you don't want to say it. So you feel it out with your body. Like when he sits on this side of the couch, you sit on the farthest side as possible. And when he asks you like, oh, what channel you want to watch, you're like, I don't care. That I don't care is powerful, my friends. I don't care.
Yeah. So just don't get married, I guess. I'm joking. You do you. You do what's best for you.
I think that there's a lot of lessons that you won't learn before you get married.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things you won't know, right? Until you actually get married.
Yeah.
That's the fear that's in me.
Yeah.
You know?
And you have to live through it, Amal. You just have to go through it. I think you will never learn everything before you get married. There are lots of marriage books.
Just ask the important questions. And then you have to just write the rest of it out.
You have to write the rest of it out. If you trust that this is the person that is going to ride all the waves with you, then go for it. You know, you're never going to know everything 100%. You're never going to be so sure that this is the person that you're meant to be with. You don't know this is your jodoh. You never know, something might happen down the road.
If you marry the person, they are your jodoh.
No, but you never know. Like, what if later you get a divorce, like 2 years later, and then you meet someone else?
But aren't they still your jodoh? The fact that you got married,
and
then the other person is your other jodoh. Actually, I don't know.
We
don't. Sorry, let's not get into that.
I understand. Like, that's not a whole other realm. Like, you will never be sure. Like, I always ask myself, am I sure that Ashraf is the right one for me? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel he is. We are together.
It's an effort.
Yeah, it's an effort from both sides. So you will never know, Amal, until you go through it. You will never know how your in-laws are going to be like, or how, if your husband is going to leave his clothes everywhere. Like, it's just a journey, and you're just going to have to take it.
When I was younger, I wanted to make like a questionnaire. I was going to like give out questionnaires to like my chalon or whatever. Yeah, I had a questionnaire in mind, but I never did it. But
let's not do it.
Yeah, okay. So I guess at the end of the day, this is the optimist in me speaking. You can have expectations. I mean, as anyone would, any normal person would.
Let yourself dream a little bit.
Yeah, I have been accused of not being fun enough. So yeah, have expectations. It's fine, but don't expect him to have a private jet. He probably wouldn't.
Just expect him to be nice and kind and sweet to you.
Yeah, I think those are standards though.
Yeah, those are standards.
Yeah, as in like, if you want a sporty guy, I don't know, maybe he will go jogging with you Saturday mornings. I guess keep expectations to that level.
Yeah.
So that you'll have a pretty good and content life with him, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
So are you going to be eating your like nasi minyak anytime soon?
Allahu alam.
Because it'll probably be nasi biryani.
Maybe.
Or dagang.
No, what's that blue one? Krabu. Yeah. My dad's Kelantanese. Anyway, thank you all for watching this episode of Weird and Wonderful today. If you like this episode and would like to watch the next one, please subscribe below.
And if you have any comments or stories or anything you'd like to share with us, please comment them down below, and we will
probably read it.
Amal will read them.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Assalamualaikum.